Hi, it's David Worrell, your DIY CFO, with an important update to the PPP. The SBA has released brand new PPP forgiveness applications, and I am so happy to tell you they include an EZ form, kind of like the 1040 EZ form that we used to use to pay taxes when we were kids, that I used to use when I was a kid. It's almost that easy. The EZ form is literally one page. And I've got it here. I want to show you. So let's take a quick look at that one, and then I'll show you the longer form in a second. So the easy form, super simple. You put all of the details in your advance and when you got it, and then you simply enter the numbers that we've already talked about so many times, the payroll costs, the rent and utilities, that sort of thing. You add it all up and multiply by at least 60%, and you show that, and then you enter your total forgiveness amount. So, gosh, unbelievably simple. The only tricky bit is here on page 2. You do have to sign and certify that you used the money correctly. And there's one thing I want to point out there. Point number 3, the amount of money that the owner may claim for himself. So if you're the owner, your payroll amount included in the forgiveness amount cannot exceed $15,385 if you use the 8-week program, or $20,833 if you use the 24-week program. Now, it's worse than that. That's already different than what we understood. It gets a little bit stricter. You also have to look at the 2019 compensation, and your owner's compensation claimed for forgiveness cannot be more than 8 weeks worth of 2019 compensation if you use the 8-week program, or 2.5 months of 2019 compensation if you used the 24-week period. So pay real attention to that. Point number 3 here, when you're doing your calculations, we're going to have to do a quick update on our calculators and those sorts of things to take this into consideration because it's brand new. But it looks like that's the most complicated thing that has happened today. The good news is the easy form is quite simple. So let me pause here and I'll queue up the long form and give you a quick glimpse at that also. Okay, this is the long form. It looks exactly like the easy form. It is still only one page to fill out. However, upon closer examination, you'll see a little bit of difference. So the top is just the same, filling out your personal details and address. And then down below, instead of 8 questions, there are 11. So it asks you these questions, like on line 5, to show the hourly wage reduction, which comes from a schedule. So you could use the spreadsheet tabs that we've provided in our calculators, or you can go down to Schedule A on this and do the calculations. So you'll actually enter the amount which you have reduced people's wages, and then also the amount that you have reduced the FTE. So that's the FTE reduction quotient on line 7. And then it goes a little the math that you would expect. So the FTE reduction quotient multiplied times the amount that is forgivable, and you'll get 3 things there: the actual PPP loan amount, the modified total after your penalties, and line 10 is the total that's spent on payroll divided by 0.6. So that's that 60-40 rule, and you'll get the forgiveness amount of the lesser of those 3 things. But boy, is this so much simpler than the first time around. It looks like you could fill it out in a half an hour. And I still do want to point out that this portion, the next portion where you attest to certain facts, is the same on both forms, and it includes the owner compensation cap of 8 weeks or 2.5 months of 2019 compensation for the owner, depending on which of the covered periods you select. So take a quick look at that, and I've got the forms available for you in my masterclass. You can sign up for our masterclass where you get both the forms and the calculator and 14 other videos to help you figure this out. If you're already in the masterclass, I want to say thank you guys again. Love you, here for you, happy to answer any questions. You know how to reach me. So good luck with this. Take a quick look, and I'm happy to help. Hey, P.S. Don't forget that your bank still has to be ready to accept these forms. There's no rush to fill this stuff out because you have 90 days after the end of your covered period to submit the forms. So while this is really interesting, please don't fill them out and send them to your bank today. Your 8-week period is not over. You may wish to use the 24-week period. If you get through the 8 and you don't have total forgiveness, you may wish to wait and look again at the 24-week period. And in any event, you can't submit this to your bank until the bank is ready to accept it and has its own process created. And finally, you do have 90 days after the end of your period. So that's like September, October at the earliest for anyone to be required to submit this. So the deadline for submitting this will be September, October. So take your time, think about it, let's talk about it, and good luck. Thanks.